think you're the only superhero in the world? You've become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
Earth's mightiest heroes don't think.
Because if we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it.
Before we get started, does anyone want to?
5, 4, 3.
Go.
Comic heads, we are here. We have our special guest of the week, Colin. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, guys. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us for some coffee and comics.
We are over caffeinated. I tell you that.
Oh well, it's that time of the evening where I've got to back off and just rock the decaf.
That's okay. That's okay. We've been a little hyped, and Folgers has been keeping us going for the day so far.
I mean, I'm Puerto Rican. We have coffee in our veins. We don't have blood. So it's okay. So my first question to you is, what do you lean towards more? Are you a Marvel guy? Are you a DC guy? Little of both?
Well, let's see here. If we go by who I've liked the longest, I've got a painting, and I'm looking at it right now, of Christopher Reeve as Superman in my den. So
That's a good Superman.
It's a great Superman.
Yeah, definitely a DC fan. Cut my teeth with of all movies, Superman 4: The Quest for Peace.
Wow, it's a good one.
Yeah, complete with Nuclear Man and his silver nails that he cuts Superman with.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So,
but Marvel as well.
Who is your favorite superhero of all time? Is it Superman?
Who else would you go with? The original, the OG.
And I know that because when you and I talked, you were all about when Henry took over the cape. That was, you said, you posted online that, you watched it and he has earned the right to don the cape, that he is taking over the reign from, there's been a few fillers of Superman in the past years, but, we go back to my time and it's, of course, like you said, Christopher Reeve, and even to other people, George Reeve. So, but I think Christopher Reeve defined the role of Superman. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's always been this conversation between me and a couple friends where it always relates back to Batman, and it's always the who's the greatest Batman?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and we battle like Bale, Keaton, Affleck, or Batfleck. But I always take it back to it doesn't matter, because you can't say Adam West because he's in a category all his own. He's the gold standard legend. It's Adam West. But if you wanted to sit down and nitpick, the greatest Batman, interpretation-wise, performance-wise of all, is Kevin Conroy, who did the voice of Batman in Batman the Animated Series. That is the definitive voice of Batman, but also, my opinion, definitive portrayal of Batman, period.
Now, were you
there
happy
will never be anything
in the crossover?
Oh, God, yeah. Are you kidding me? Kingdom Come is one of my favorite comic books of all time.
I didn't like the exoskeleton suit, but I thought him actually portraying Bruce Wayne is badass.
Well, have you read Kingdom Come?
Yes, I have. Okay,
yeah, because when I saw him in that, and I'm like, they got that and the voice, I was like, take all my money, I'm in.
I enjoyed the trophy case of all his trophies that he had before when Superman was looking at him. You got to watch the crossover. We got to put you.
I know. I'm so far behind. You guys are so far advanced. Like, I knew this. I knew going into this tonight, I would be like, okay, I just answer questions.
Every year, all the CW shows put together a crossover.
Okay.
They've gotten extremely better as they've gone. And that was the Crisis crossover, right?
Yeah, so they've done a few of them. There was Crisis on Earth X, which was the one where they already established the multiverse, but they had like the Nazi Earth, where like all the heroes from the Arrowverse were mirror versions of themselves, but like Nazi versions of them, which is really cool. Then they did Crisis on Infinite Earths, which took what was, at the time when it came out, a comic book that was just huge, and it reset the entire DC universe. And they kind of did the same thing, but they established a couple awesome things within DC as a whole, from a visual media standpoint, and that was everything you've seen in the past, all the Christopher Reeve movies, the George Reeves TV shows, the Batman with Michael Keaton, Smallville, Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. We don't talk about that one too much, but okay, it got acknowledged.
Almost as
but
bad
they
as
established
Daredevil, but
shh. Charlie Cox took over and did all right with that. Just all right. No, I'm kidding. He was amazing at it.
Amazing.
But with that, they established that all these movies, all these TV shows, even the animated series, one could argue take place in the DC multiverse. Mm-hmm. So everything is canon. There's never a reboot of everything. It's just all in different universes. And that miniseries touched on all the key points. And well, Jimmy, watch it. It's there's a couple little Easter eggs in there that will make you go,
"Oh my god!"
What?
I feel like DC has taken over the they've cornered the market on the cable network, whereas I feel like Marvel has put it onto a more paid network to watch. Not that you don't pay for Comcast, because we all do, no matter what you're watching it on. But if you watch the CW, you're paying for it one way or another. It's just not Disney Plus that you're paying for. That Marvel has kind of taken on that aspect, and that's my take on the two. I feel like they're more the public access channel, and Marvel's still like making you download and pay for their content. So it's a little frustrating.
I know for the very longest time, and let me know if you feel the same way, DC was kicking Marvel's ass in the whole animated genre at like point blank. Their animated movies were incredible. The Killing Joke was probably one of the best animated movies I've ever seen in my life. And Batman versus, they had Batman versus Robin on the one. They had the Justice League versus the Titans. Their animated series were amazing. So I'm kind of excited to see what the What If series has to offer.
Yeah, I'm DC has, so Warner Brothers DC, I mean, however you want to categorize it, the live action stuff has always been like they have a plan and then they kind of get away from it constantly. Like they're constantly self-sabotaging, and they've been doing this since 1979, 1980 with Superman 2. The story behind that, and we can deep dive into that some other time, but it's literally an example of Warner Brothers saying, oh, hey, we have a great idea. And then they shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Putting nipples on a bat suit? No.
Right. Like, really? It's supposed to be a tactical suit, not a rubber suit that's anatomically correct.
Now, I was telling Jim on the way here, do you remember who the original Robin was supposed to be in that movie?
For Batman 1989?
No, Batman, what was it, Forever?
Well, it was Christopher O'Donnell, but if you're talking about the original Robin with the original plan, it was supposed to be Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
And they actually did
so much money off that movie, and he only filmed 15 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
It's a shame, because I think that would have been a great way to introduce,
some diversity
early
into the shows.
And they already had a plan with it. Sorry to interrupt you, Jimmy. They had a plan with it that involved Billy D, Lando Calrissian, going straight Two-Face. That's why he was Harvey Dent in it. So I mean, it would have been, at the time, if they stuck to that original plan, absolutely and completely earth-breaking.
Yeah.
Just boom. Here we've got Two-Face, and it's Lando Calrissian of all people playing Two-Face. And we've got Marlon Wayans playing Robin, which would have been awesome as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Warner Brothers got involved, and
but then we got Arnold as Mr. Freeze, and
Ice to meet you.
Yeah, I mean, I to me, the defining roles for Batman will always be, to me, Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson as the Joker, just because I can appreciate that. But the way that, when they took it into the Dark Knight trilogy and Heath Ledger and Christian Bale, I mean, they were strong characters, and I feel like they set their own tone for a darker, it is called The Dark Knight for a reason. It was a darker series of Batman, I think. And that's, and Heath Ledger, God rest his soul, he took it to the darkest realm he could.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was, when they announced that he was doing it, I was like, the dude from 10 Things I Hate About You and Brokeback Mountain, like, that's your Joker?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I think it was the first trailer where you hear him speak. And I was like, oh, what are they? Whoa. And then I saw like a picture of him and I'm like, what? And then saw the movie, and just anytime they had that, there was like a little guitar riff that played in the soundtrack whenever he was about to do something. Like the entire time I saw that movie, I was like on edge every time I heard that. Just sitting there like, oh God, what is he going to do? What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
I had that same moment when I seen Twilight's Batman.
I thought you were going to say Twilight the series.
When they go
Team Edward.
I was always Team Alice. So
when they go, who are you? And he just pop, 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 pop. Vengeance. I was like, I'm probably bought in here because I was actually impressed. And I'm like, at first I didn't want to see it. I was like, I think you're talking about this guy who was a shiny vampire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was actually impressed on how that scene just like a lot of Batman fans were like, all right, we might want to watch this movie now.
Yeah. Robert Pattinson take on a good role.
Yeah. He did The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe. And if you guys haven't seen that, I mean, when I saw that and then a couple months later, they're like, oh, he's playing Batman. I went, okay, sure. Let's see what happens. And then they showed him in the trailer and he's kind of looking like an emo Bruce Wayne. So I'm like, guys, you had me. And now it feels like we're going backwards. He's about to be a shiny vampire again.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if he's going to make the best Bruce Wayne, but I think from what I saw character-wise, I think he'll make a good Batman.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the really big defining things with a lot of superheroes is it's very rare that you find an actor that can do both. You either have somebody that can do like the Secret Identity and somebody who can do the hero really well, like Christopher Reeve. Golden example. He can do Clark Kent and Superman perfectly. But then you throw in somebody else like Robert Downey Jr. Again, somebody who defined the role to the point that the character changed in the comic books because he took the idea of, oh, well, it's a Secret Identity and here I am as the hero. And he said, you know what? It's just going to be me and I'm going to be in a suit.
Yeah.
I am Iron Man.
With exactly.
Or Highway to Hell playing in the background, when that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, when that kicks
absolutely.
In. Yeah, that was a great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that one hurt too. When he had the hand up and he just and then I Love You 3000.
I cried in the theater. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I cried.
Yeah. That was it
was on the other day, and I still get choked up every time. It's
I'm kind of upset they took out the extended scene with everybody kneeling.
Yeah.
I understand it would have took away from the funeral and it would have been like you're having like 20 minutes of sadness. But that scene was powerful. When you see everybody, you see the most powerful superheroes that are super enhanced kneeling to this guy who just saved everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that and they cut a whole scene. My only complaint with Endgame and Infinity War was it was supposed to be like one big movie, and there was supposed to be a lot of familiar beats in Endgame that there were in Infinity War. And one of the things they cut from Endgame was there was supposed to be a scene in the Soul World with him seeing Morgan Stark all grown up. And that was I couldn't get through that. Like I was watching, I'm like, can't do this. Dad, I'm going to be okay. Like, nope, can't do it.
But they're saying that scene is going to come back around somehow. That scene.
I hope so.
There's also a scene like that with Hulk and Bruce Banner.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a whole sequence where they, at the end of Infinity War, he was supposed to burst out of the Hulkbuster armor. Yeah,
They
it's
had
supposed to have his like
Funko
big
Pop and
dramatic
everything,
moment.
and everybody's like, "Where did this scene go?"
Yeah, yeah. But
I understood why they didn't put it, because that would have been a win and something that was supposed to feel like a devastating loss. So
yeah, I think they built that up just enough that, you know, you're like, oh my God, they're actually going to pull this off. And then Thor hits him with Stormbreaker and he's just like, you should have gone for the head, and then snaps. Yeah. And that was,
You know,
anyways, I mean,
no,
we
you
could-
guys
we
are
could-
talking about, you're bringing up some great topics, and one of the things that you're bringing up, I think, is the character buildup, the creation behind the characters, and that's one thing, you know, I think that Marvel does very well. They've built characters, even B-listing characters. Like, no, I'm not saying they're B-listed, but you take supporting actors like the Falcon, the Winter Soldier, and you're putting them into a mainstream show now that's highlighting their aspect of what they brought to the Avengers. And I think, you know, that's one thing Marvel does really well, is character buildup and character creation.
well, technically, besides the Flash and now Superman, DC was kind of doing that with the CW shows. Arrow wasn't a list superhero, even though he's very similar to Batman in a lot of ways. Black Canary, Wild Dog, who else was on there? I forget.
Speedy,
Speedy,
Arsenal.
Then on the Flash, you have Captain Cold, you have Heatwave. Then they made that stupid TV show with all the B-list heroes, Adam, White Canary. Yeah, I mean, they were trying to show people there's other heroes besides Batman, Superman.
Mhm.
They were trying to do it, and
But why didn't it get the traction
Because-
that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier do, or even WandaVision did on Disney Plus? Is it because Disney is so much larger of a domination in the cinematic universe, or is it?
I personally think, I don't know what you think, but I think with the CW shows, they try to make a CW show and a superhero show at the same time. Like, a lot of people who enjoyed the Arrow got sick of the whole Oliver and Felicity storyline where she had to be the center of attention, when actually Arrow's supposed to be with Black Canary.
Okay.
So they would take their freedom with what we enjoy and we know what the storyline is, and you're saying, oh, because these people over here, let's change the story to appease to the people who over here. So then that's when you had the whole Felicity storyline.
Yeah.
And now Batwoman just destroyed the whole show with a character that never existed. And I don't know what they did with Superman and Lois, but they did everything correct so
They're
far
doing
with
great.
that one.
They're doing great with that.
Yeah, that one is the cast is fantastic for that. It feels like you're watching Smallville, and like it's like they cherry picked all the good things from like TV shows and
That's what
movies,
we said.
put it all together.
That's what.
Yeah, well, Tyler Hoechlin's Clark was like amazing. Just like the little bit that you see him as Clark Kent in the Daily Planet, and he's walking around talking to Lois Lane. Like I couldn't contain it. I was like, this guy is amazing. And like the way the two of them play off each other is fantastic. I mean, there's good chemistry there. It's awesome. Fun little fact, if you take a look at his Superman suit, I got my sidekick buddy in the background.
I see
That's
that.
all.
My buddy was barking just a little while ago because of the storm. So
yeah. My other one's hiding somewhere, but he's the one who's like, what are you doing? I'm going to be over here and help out. But anyways, back to Superman and Lois. One of the fun little Easter eggs with that is if you look at his suit, it is very much the suit that is supposed to be the Tom Welling suit from Smallville, but in the Smallville comics. So Smallville season 11, they were the first comic book version of Superman to drop the trunks. And instead they went with a belt that had the little Superman logo on the buckle.
Mhm.
And if you look, there are lines that go underneath the logo and then down the center of the chest, down the torso. And if you look at the suit in the show, it's there. It's subtle, but it's there. Like I was looking at it and I was like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, where I was like,
Yeah,
Just seeing it.
I noticed that too. It's almost like they took the best parts of all the suits,
Yeah,
and they kind of made his suit.
created it into one.
And I'm actually glad they gave him a new suit compared to what was on when he was part of the crossovers and Supergirl, because it was okay, but it was, But then once he put his actual suit, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah,
But just-
when he showed up in Supergirl, I was like, all right, let's TV Superman, like really, okay. And he showed up, and within like 2 minutes, I was like, done. Love him, keep him.
Yeah,
And then everyone was like, what about the suit? And I'm like, I don't really care. He's great.
I thought the black suit was badass though.
Mm-hmm.
For Evil
When they added the little collar to it, and
that means you got to watch these, so then you can know what we're talking about.
I'm slowly. I do watch Superman and Lois. I just
The crossover, he had a black suit, and it was badass.
yeah. Well, and they brought that back.
Yeah, I saw it's coming.
Superman Lois, yeah. But to backtrack a little bit with what happened with Arrow. So Green Arrow was designed to be a copy of Batman anyways. He had an arrow cave, and it was actually called an arrow cave in the comic books. Like it wasn't even like subtle. They were like, yeah, here it is.
Yep, arrow cave, arrow deal. I remember,
Yeah. But what they did that was great with the first 2 seasons of that show is it was this gritty, dirty, realistic take. Oh yeah, fantastic! Like I loved it. By the third season,
probably the best Deathstroke I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Oh, he was intense, but like that terrifyingly calm intense. Like I'm going to destroy your life. It's almost like he was like, I'm a man of focus, commitment, and sheer will, but not John Wick.
Yeah.
But
he was gonna kill you when he said,
yeah, and you knew it wasn't going to happen right away. It was going to be one of those like he'll destroy your entire life and then kill you when you're ready to die.
Cat and mouse, like it was.
Yeah. But where I think they turned, where they made that hard left turn with Arrow was they got to season 3, and they suddenly decided, oh, he's going to be our TV Batman. So let's put Ra's al Ghul in there. And I don't say Ra's al Ghul because in Batman the Animated Series they said Ra's al Ghul, and I've just been programmed that way since I was a kid.
I say Ra's al Ghul too.
Yeah. But they started doing that, and then it turned into. Then they did the Olicity thing, which the chemistry between them was good. So I was like, okay, I can get if you deviate from this, but then they kept on just doing really underwhelming storylines.
That Damien Dark storyline was horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
I like Prometheus and Dragon were pretty good. The last two seasons were good. It's just that middle. I could have done without that middle series.
They kind of did this, and then they plateaued. Then they kind of did this. Then they started doing this, and then it was over.
The only good thing about the Damien Dark storyline is they gave us Constantine back.
Yeah,
and that kind of rebirthed his whole existence of being.
Yeah, and we need more Constantine because just the little teaser everybody got.
Little show back.
Yeah, Constantine was awesome, and not the Keanu version. Full respect to Keanu, but the TV version of Constantine is about 30 million times better than what they did with that movie.
They have him on Legends of Tomorrow last season and this season, and I think they're trying to see if people are going to take to him to give him his own series back.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it like, hey, we have HBO Max. We see what Disney is doing with, WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Guys, here's a perfect character where you can go like hardcore streaming series, big budget, big effects, more adult content, and it'll work. So I'm hoping that'll happen. I'm doubtful Warner Brothers will actually consider it because they have their own plans.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what those plans are, but they don't involve restoring the Snyderverse. So I'm a little salty about it.
Here, The Rock is pushing for him. The Rock threatened to leave his role as Black Adam if they don't bring him back.
They better, because I want to see The Rock as Black Adam. He's literally the only person that I've been. When they said they cast him, I was like, perfect. That's all I need.
He's like a human superhero. He walks around. He's like this big.
Yeah, like he can't put his arms down.
Sideways through doors.
Yeah. And have you seen like the pictures of his cheat day on Sundays? He's got like a stack of pancakes that are like 2.5 feet high and like 7 pizzas. Yeah, and he's just standing there like, rah, like getting ready to chow it all down.
You guys brought up the Snyder Cut. I still have to watch that. I'm planning on doing that. I was going to say this weekend, but it probably won't happen because we're going glamping. But I do have it. I am waiting to watch it. I tried to watch it this week, but unfortunately, I had to get caught up for the Falcon and Winter Soldier and the Mighty Ducks, which, you know.
You still got to catch up on the Mandalorian. Too.
I know. I'm so behind on the Mandalorian. I got Disney Plus so we could watch the Mandalorian. That was the whole point of getting Disney Plus.
And he still hasn't watched it.
I'm like on episode 9 of the first season. But then WandaVision came into play.
Wonderful series. Now the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is only 6 or 7 episodes long, but they're deep episodes, which I have a question about that here in just a second. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to get caught up on all this. I can get, back onto the Mandalorian. And then Mighty Ducks appears. And I'm like, oh, the Game Changers. I can't not watch that. And the kids and Christy actually enjoy that. They're not like, Well, then you got Loki coming up.
I know. It's like every time I get ready to delve into something, back onto the Mandalorian, something pops up, which leads me to this question. You watched this week's episode of The Falcon and Winter Soldier, correct?
Yep.
You've watched it.
Yes.
You and I talked about this briefly on our way up tonight. When does Captain America go bad? Or has he already?
Are we talking, well, there's been quite a few storylines. Are we talking about John Walker? Or are we talking about Steve Rogers?
John Walker.
When does he go bad in the comic book, or when does he go bad?
In your mind, in the series, I feel like he's already hit that dark spot.
No, not yet. We haven't seen it yet.
Oh, really?
And here's why. Here's why.
Bad.
So let's dial it back to Captain America: The First Avenger. What did Dr. Erskine say to Steve Rogers?
And they said it on that same series too.
The Super Soldier Serum takes what you are and enhances it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a good man,
it'll bring out
you're a good man. If you're a bad man, it'll make you worse.
So you don't think he took the serum yet?
No, he took it. He definitely took it.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought he took the serum.
He definitely he was bending pipes and everything.
Yeah. But I think what we're seeing happen is you're mixing him having that inferiority complex with Captain America already.
Yes.
He's the perfect soldier, which is what they were looking for in Captain America: The First Avenger. Not the perfect person, the perfect soldier. And they got Steve Rogers, who wasn't the perfect soldier, but he was pure of heart. He was a good person. And they gave him the serum, and then boom, we get Cap. And who doesn't love Steve Rogers? I mean, come on, it's Cap. Yeah. It's Cap.
He has underwear.
But John Walker. Don't we all?
Why do you know this about me?
They're hanging up with
But then you get John Walker getting it, and he has a history in the comic books of basically being an anti-hero to begin with. So once he showed up in the show, I was like, yeah. So when looking to watch, like, all right, so which episode is he just going to snap and just start going nuts? And when's it going to shift from who's the power broker to, okay, we have to get the shield back. We have to stop him and get the shield back. Regarding the power broker, who do you guys think the power broker is?
I think it's Sharon.
Same here. Yeah. I think she's going to be I think it's, although I think that's low hanging fruit. I think there's a part of me, it feels like there's going to be somebody else revealed.
So it's
going to go right real quick.
For a while, I thought it was Baron Zemo for a while.
It could still be Zemo.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that. We also talked about the Easter egg of somebody's going to be making an appearance. And there's going to be it's somebody.
Did you hear that? There's somebody's in this episode, the next episode, there's going to be a guest appearance.
But they've already been on the show.
Of an Avenger.
They've already been on the show.
On the show already?
Yeah.
Like Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I figured it out.
Well, see, since Bill Bellamy since Vision trolled the entire internet by saying, "Oh yeah, the last episode, there's a big cameo in it." I mean, I was working with this actor, and it was just fireworks the whole time, and it was just him and himself. It was Vision and White Vision. And I saw that. I'm like, dude, you trolled the entire internet for weeks on this.
But I think I cracked the code. I've been watching, and I think I know who it's somebody that's been on the show already. And the only person that's been on the show is Rhodey.
Yeah, War Machine showing up.
We may have War Machine in full suit in this episode for a little bit. So I think, because we only have, what, 3 more episodes left?
3.
I think it's 2 or 3 more.
Well, so this was episode 4. This was episode 4, so there's only 2 left.
So I think they may wrap up the Power Broker in this one, and then the Shield will be the next episode.
Maybe. I mean,
I think we saw
to say.
I think we saw the turning I think we saw a turn with
the grandpa from Up.
You know, it's Kurt Russell's son.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You can tell by the distinct jawline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was reading it, I'm like, no way.
Yeah, I think we saw the turn in that character. We also talked about who made a better Rhodey.
Oh, Terrence Howard versus Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
We both said Don Cheadle.
Yeah, no, I think so too. He had, I mean, they both played off of Downey really well, but
I think
Don Cheadle's put in the mileage.
I think there was more of a, like Anthony said,
it was an effortless connection between him and Don Cheadle.
There was more of a power struggle between him and Robert Downey, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, so, but that takes us through where we're currently at with the show.
Do you think this is, as of the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, do you think that's the last time we're going to see Walker as Captain America?
I think there's going to be, storyline wise, I think, whether it's the next episode and then it gets wrapped up in the following episode, I think there's going to be a transitionary phase. I mean, people were already recording what he was doing, so it's going to be all over the internet. So it's going to be that he's going to go from being Captain America to probably U.S. agent, which is what he is in the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we'll see. Marvel's not known for sticking to exactly what happens. They're not known for sticking to the gospel. They tweak it where they need to. Like, you know, Tony Stark works so much better in a post 9/11 world than he did in a pre 9/11 world. Yeah. And throwing Robert Downey Jr. in there, it's like, oh yeah, why not? This guy's awesome. Yeah. But I think they're going to take I don't want to say a slow burn approach, but the next episode is going to be like, that's going to be the focus. And then there's going to be that transition into the Power Broker. Like this is kind of going to take it off, and then we'll get back to the Power Broker, and that'll be at the end of the series. I'll tell you guys this, what I'm waiting for, and they touched on it, but they introduced Isaiah Bradley, who was the Black Captain America.
Yep.
And then there's his son, Elijah, who becomes Patriot in the Young Avengers. And they've been sprinkling seeds for the Young Avengers since Endgame.
I think they've been sprinkling the seeds for Young Avengers and the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I think we'll see the Thunderbolts.
Yeah. You know, you guys, this is the great thing about doing this tonight. The fact that you two are true comic heads. I don't pretend to be one. I am a movie comic head. You know,
We'll learn you.
We've been friends for years, but part of our friendship really grew when Marvel hit the big screen more than anything.
Oh yeah.
You know, him dragging me to stuff and making sure I saw this or that, you know, like The Mandalorian. But, you know, you guys have a true passion and a knowledge of something that, you know, so many of us just go to the movies and talk about what's current on TV. So to hear you guys talk about some of this stuff is just amazing. You know, I give you guys so much credit.
yeah, this is, everyone's like, how do you know all this stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. How do you know all those stats about different athletes? And they're like, well, I'm like, well.
I still buy comic books to this day and I read them. So, by the way, did you start reading the new Venom series?
All right, so this is where I might get some of the hate from the internet, but I actually don't really like Venom as a character.
I'm not a big Venom guy, but the new series.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about the King in Black?
You have Agent Venom, and I believe it's called Black and White, but you get Cosmic Venom.
Yeah. No, I knew about that. Like, I touch on it.
Thor's hammer and Silver Surfer's board and makes his weapon out of that. And it becomes the most badass moment I've ever seen in my life.
Well, now I have to look it up, because if they're throwing in now with Cosmic Venom, was it he got the what is it, the Enigma Force?
Yeah,
Captain Universe. Did he get imbued with those powers?
They call it the power of light in the series.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's the King in Black series where they have like the symbiote god. Yeah. No, I've been following that loosely in the background, just after things happen, like not issue by issue, but like getting the summaries and like, all right, what are they trying to do with this? What are they trying to do with that? Because every now and then Marvel throw like that concept out there where you're like, really? Okay. Like when they did Spider-Verse, I was like, I don't know, guys. And then like a few years later, we get an animated movie, and now we might see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the next Spider-Man movie. And I'm like, why not? Let's do it.
Well, I was surprised about that. Yeah.
I don't mean to wrap this up, but you guys have my mind blown, and I'm sure the internet and everyone that watches this comic pod is going to be like commenting the heck out of this. And I think it's going to really take this show, and the two of you have elevated what we're doing definitely beyond what I've expected. So,
well, like I said, we had to do a 3-hour deep dive into the Snyder Cut, shot by shot.
Yeah,
definitely have to do because he needs to watch. So we might just have to watch it again together and full-fledged react.
Watch party. There you go. Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Jimmy, that's like,
I know you told me about this the last episode,
but that's like a day's work too. Like that movie's not like sit down and chill and watch. It's a day's work. Like it's awesome. Like when I watched it, it was a labor of love because DC, and I was sitting there like waiting to watch it. I was like Shia LaBeouf. That meme with Shia LaBeouf where it's just all the different expressions while I'm watching it. Yeah. But at the same time, it was like I couldn't get through it in one sitting. Like just between work and kids and all that stuff, I had to break it down into like they break it into chapters, which is nice, but I had to break it down into like 2 separate viewings just to get through it.
That's how I did it. I watched the first half. I watched up to chapter 3, and then I stopped because it was like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I watched from chapter 3 at the end, and I'm glad that we got more of the Flash in that one. I'm a huge Flash guy.
Well, you guys are like scaring me into watching this. Like I'm half afraid. I don't know if I can, have the patience and dedication to watch this whole thing.
Or the bladder.
Yeah, the bladder was. But I am gonna watch it, and I plan on talking about it very much coming up here soon. So with closing, I want to say thank you very much to Colin for joining us tonight. And
tell Bat Dog behind you we appreciate it too.
Actually, that was Bat Cat. I don't know where he went.
Oh, Bat Cat.
He ended up somewhere. Yeah. Like Siamese, like straight up, he will at some point go full on Bat Cat in the background. Like he'll just stick his head up and you'll just see the ears.
Yeah, I've seen that over your shoulder at least 4 times.
Yeah. But well, thank you guys for having me on.
No,
I've been listening since you guys launched this, so I've been sitting in the background with comments. I would love to come back on.
Hey, might have to make you a regular.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to happen because I'm okay narrating this whole thing, but you guys are the wealth of knowledge behind it.
You're the mediator.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, let's take it back.
All right, guys, stop being full nerd. Let's draw it back now.
But well, I mean, once we touch some of it, it's like, well, we got to go down that hole.
Yeah. So everybody that's watching and listening, drop your comments in if you have questions for Lyrican, for Colin, or you want to make fun of me for not knowing as much as they do, that's okay too. Not only is he one of Lancaster's and York's best realtors, he's also a full comic head. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on Coffee and Comics. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Have a good night, man.